Today's story is about this spoiled kid who went absolutely off the rails. Like, this kid went absolutely crazy when someone said you can't have everything, basically. Enjoy the story. So the subscriber who sent in the story, let's call him Ryan. So anyways, Ryan is like a freshman in high school, and in one of his classes, I don't think it really matters, let's just say math class for the sake of it, in his math class, right, there's this kid named Jack, and Jack is known for, kind of being like the spoiled kid who, like, is an absolute jerk, like an absolute nuisance, who honestly, like, because basically when you're given everything and when you're never told no, you're probably, most likely, maybe I'm wrong on this, but you're most likely probably not going to be, like, the greatest person ever. You might not have like the greatest moral compass ever. I don't know, man. I really don't know. But at least in this case, yeah, Jack, not a good guy. Granted, right, Jack's a freshman in high school, right? He's still a kid. He'll grow up. And also, it's a lot of it's on the parents for how you raise them. But either way, right, Jack's kind of known as like a jerk. So Ryan had kind of gone to like the same middle school with all the people that he's going to high school in. Like, he just kind of went to, he goes to high school with the kids in his town and, he went to middle school with them as well. But basically, right, so, it's his first time in high school, but it's all the same kids, except a new girl kind of like moves in, and because she moved in the district, she's now assigned to this school. And we're not going to get I'm a little conflicted if I give her a name or not, because now I'm going to have 3 names to juggle in my head, and I will totally mess it up. But yeah, let's just call her Kate, right? Screw it. New girl, her name's Kate. And, so they get to class and everyone's kind of like a little bit nervous because it is, it's the first day of high school, right? But Kate's kind of like, she's in a different picture because she doesn't know these people and it's the first day of high school. So it's like a really, really big deal for her. It's a little bit different. So they get into class and, everyone's kind of looking around. And they notice the new girl, Kate, and they're like, oh, like they all kind of like introduce each other, like art themselves. And they're like, hey, welcome. Like, if you have any questions, let us know. Like, we're like obviously new to high school as well, but we kind of all know each other. So feel free to like, talk to us if you need anything. And here's the thing, right? Jack, who's the spoiled kid, right? Not the subscriber's Ryan. But Jack, who's like the spoiled kid, always got everything he ever wanted, right? So, he kind of had like an idea that like if he wanted something or someone in this case, that they would be, that they have to, be there for him and he has to get them. And he kind of had this attitude towards women, which is pretty toxic. Like, let me just say, like, guys, fellas, no one is entitled to you. Like, LMAO, you should know this, but, no one is entitled to you, man. And if you act like someone is, they will definitely not get with you, like 100,000%. But I think most of you guys already knew that. I don't know how I'm even saying that too. If for example, Jack is watching this video, that's a lesson for him, but I doubt any of you guys actually needed me to say that. Anyways, right, so on the first day, Jack makes a real effort to like talk to Kate, right? And, normally that's definitely not a bad thing at all. If anything, right? Like, that's a good thing, man. You might be thinking to yourself or about to type up like, well, Connor, this is actually a good thing. He was probably just trying to make her feel good. You don't want her to feel good? No, but he was like, you have to understand, he was like going really hard talking to her, be like, oh, that's so cool. Yeah, like he was very obviously like hitting on her, and she was very polite and like kept the conversation with him because like, dude, she's new there. She can't like be like, nah, bro, like just like piss off. Like she just can't do that because she's like too new there, unfortunately. And the dude kind of knew that, like Jack kind of knew that, and he was like, yeah, I'm just gonna talk her up, bro. She's gonna fall in love with me because like, who doesn't fall in love with me, dude? I'm loved by the masses. I'm loved by the individuals. I'm loved by all the women ever. Every woman loves me. That was kind of his mindset. But anyways, right, so that's not really an issue in itself. Dude talks the girl up a lot, whatever, right? But it's the next day that when it rolls around. When the next day rolls around is when things got pretty bad. Things started to escalate, right? So anyways, next day in math class, they had a whole day, like a whole first day or whatever. And the second day, teacher ends up being like, 10, 15 minutes late, traffic or something. I don't 100% know. But within those 10 to 15 minutes, man, things just spiral downhill so quickly. You'll see what I mean in a sec. So the second day rolls around, and you got Ryan, you got Jack, you got Kate, the new girl, and you got everyone else in class, and they're all kind of just sitting around. And Ryan's talking with one of his friends, but he notices that Jack is like once again talking to Kate, which first of all, totally fine, whatever, right? It is what it is. He's probably like just trying to make her, feel welcome, which is definitely not what he was trying to do, but whatever, right? So he starts saying like, yeah, like, I'm totally single right now. He brings up for no, like, in the middle of nothing. She was saying something about, like, oh, are you, like, feel good about this math class? He's like, yeah, whatever, right? I'm totally single right now, bro. Like, he just kind of, like, hopped from one thing to another. And yeah, he was basically just, like, talking about how, oh, man, like, he is in between girlfriends right now. And, like, his last girlfriend was, like, super hot. But she went to a different school. Okay, he didn't say that line exactly. He didn't quote unquote say she went to a different school, but it was like his hot girlfriend over the summer. All right, buddy, sure, yeah, your hot girlfriend over the summer who just broke up with you. By the way, he broke up with her. Do not get it twisted. Do not get it twisted for a second. No, 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 it was him. She was just like not good enough for him, even though she was an 11 out of 10. This guy Jack is a 12 out of 10. You guys don't even understand. So, right, so Kate is like, whatever, right? She's kind of like, okay, and she's like, oh, like, I'm sorry to hear that, and then she tries to change the subject, right? And at this point, Ryan, the subscriber, is starting to notice the weird conversation. He's overhearing it a bit, and now he's listening in a bit more intensely, and he can tell that Kate is trying to change the conversation, because she said something about, like, the first homework assignment they got, because this is their only second day, and, like, how much more can they really talk about? And Jack's like, oh, yeah, that was, like, super easy, did that in, like, 5 seconds, whatever, and, he's like, I've really been missing, like, a woman's touch. And at this point, Ryan was like, hey, yo, hey, what? Huh? Bro, are you okay? Like, excuse me, sir? Is everything okay? At this point, Kate's like, okay. And Ryan's like, no, not Ryan, sorry, no. And this is what happens when I have multiple names. Jack is like, so, I was thinking, maybe tonight we could go, get something to eat. And by the way, this wouldn't be a friendly thing. This would like totally be a dating thing. This would be like, you'd be my girlfriend. And like, I know it's like a huge opportunity for you, like, especially since like my status in the school. Everyone, when they heard that, they're just like, bro, what? Like, no one really likes you, dude. Lol. No, but he was like, with my whole status in the school and kind of like my position, just kind of like, my care, everything like about me. I know this is a really big opportunity. And I'm gonna need you to respond pretty quickly because like I got some other side women lined up. Total cap, by the way. He 100,000% did not. But he's like, yeah, I got some other girls on the side that would totally be down, like so down to do this with me. But I got an opportunity for you, which is like you and me tonight, dinner, dating, maybe a little hand holding, maybe a little first base. I don't really know, like whatever you want to do. It's tough. And at this point, like Ryan's like, no way this kid just said that. No way this kid just said that. That kind of like ends his whole like long rambling, oh, you should totally go out with me, I got so many women who'll love me, kind of like spiel or whatever. At this point, the class like kind of went silent because they were all paying attention because like, I'll be honest, I probably would have done the same. Like, totally unfortunate for Kate that she has to be in this position, but like, this is interesting, man. I want to know what happens. And Ryan was also like, oh my God, this kid actually said it. Like, this guy Jack unironically just said what he just said. And Kate kind of looks at him and is like, sorry, I'm going to have to decline. You seem really nice, but that's just not for me. And at this point, Jack, right, not his little, am I kidding myself? His massive ego just got a prick in it and it starts to deflate. And, he feels very threatened. So he's like, oh, well, I was actually, well, okay then, I'm going to hit up this girl. She's like actually much hotter than you. I don't even know why I asked you. You're not even a 10 and I only date 10s. Ryan has been listening to the whole conversation. And at this point, Ryan's like, whoa, all right. Because like, look, before he asked her on a date right away, being super cocky. All that is kind of cringe and uncomfortable for the girl and Kate and basically everyone else, which, like, you should make her feel uncomfortable, but, like, you're allowed to ask people out. Even if you're super cringe, you're allowed to be cringe, right? But, like, going after her looks because she said no to you, and especially since, like, you don't even know this girl, like, she doesn't think it's a joke because, one, he wasn't joking. He wasn't, like, actually thought that because, he asked her out in the first place. But Ryan's like, okay, That's where I draw the line. So Ryan gets up and he's like, hey, Jack, can you piss off? Like, stop being an absolute jerk. Like, she said no to you. Unlucky, move on. And Jack just looks so startled because, like, no one really, it's not that people didn't stand up to Jack before. They just kind of saw him as a joke. Like, okay, this guy's just, like, super entitled. He's just kind of a jerk, but, like, it's funny because he's in a completely different world. Like, he's detached from reality. Let's laugh at him and point. Not like someone actually stands up to him. But obviously, like, he'd gone, everyone there kind of, like, knew about Jack and his, like, antics. But the fact that Jack would say something, like honestly so hurtful to someone who's new, you know, it was actually Ryan's cool guy for doing this, and he stood up. And that's when Jack completely loses it. Because one, he just got his ego deflated a little bit by this girl saying no. And then a random classmate, or not a random classmate, but then a classmate stands up to him. Jack can't have this happen. And Jack goes completely off the rails. The secret word of today's video is spoiled. So if you made it this far into the video, comment spoiled down below. I just like to see how many people made it this far into the video, as I do appreciate the watch time. That's probably one of the greatest ways to help the channel. And I just want to say thanks. And to say thanks, I'll be hearting some comments to say that. I can't heart them all because I just physically can't spend that much time doing that, but I will do my best to heart as many as I can. So if you want to get like top commenter or farm some hearts or something, yeah, just go ahead and comment spoiled down below. And also, today's your lucky day, because every single person who leaves a like on this video will receive nothing. You heard me. No, don't. Your ears aren't clogged. You're not hallucinating. I am legitimately feeling so generous that I will give you nothing if you leave a like on this video. Anyways, mini recap. Ryan, right, you know, the subscriber, stood up to Jack for basically, you know, saying something pretty mean to the new girl, Kate, for rejecting him. Jack, who's basically never gotten no in his entire life, just got owned twice in like the span of a minute. And his, you know, he just goes completely crazy. He just goes completely insane. At this point, right, the teacher had actually gotten there, but he stood outside the door and had listened to the last, like, 30 seconds, basically, of Ryan standing up to Jack. And he stood outside because he wanted to, like, not interrupt the situation, because he wanted to hear what was going to happen, just in case he needed to, like, intervene or something. And Jack stood up and he's like, Ryan, I could literally buy you. I have so much money. And he turns to Kate like, Kate, I get girls so much hotter than you. I have 11s. I have 3 of them hitting me up right now. I have to turn my phone on Do Not Disturb. I have so much money that I could buy the entire school. I basically own the school. I could basically own you. I could basically own the entire town. You know the mall. I own the mall. You know that. And he goes on this complete tirade of how he's like the hottest, most wealthiest, most attractive man. Like, this guy was, like, straight up delusional at this point because his ego had been broken so much. At this point, the teacher walks in and is like, Jack. And Jack looks at him all, like startled and like, oh, boy. And he's like, Jack, to the front office, now. And Jack starts walking up, and he turns to Ryan. He's like, hey, Ryan, you're not in trouble, but can you come up there, too? We just need someone to explain the situation. And Ryan's like, yeah, sure, like, 100%, I got you. And basically, right, so, you know, Ryan and Jack go up to the front office, and the principal actually has Ryan come in first and explain the situation without Jack there to, like, interrupt or whatever. And yeah, Ryan explains exactly what happened, and he says to the principal, and if you don't believe me, you can literally ask any other classmate, and they'll say basically the same thing. The principal's like, you know what, you don't have any reason to lie. We believe you on this one. And yeah, Jack got sent home for the day, and he didn't get like expelled or anything, and he didn't get suspended for that long of a period of time. But he basically had to type up a written apology to Ryan and Kate, and also one to the entire class, which was pretty humiliating, but well-deserved, and maybe grounded him a little bit. Subscribe if you haven't already. Now go watch another video. Go click on one of the videos on screen. Go click. Why haven't you yet? Click!